today's chainsaw, string trimmer, lawnmower, or blower and get a free secondary battery. That means more power, more runtime, and more work done without slowing down. Visit Port Angeles Power Equipment at 2624 East Highway 101 in Port Angeles, proudly servicing the Olympic Peninsula for the past 36 years. Don't wait. This still sale ends June 30th.
In other news, folks driving along the coast of the peninsula should be aware that tomorrow you should plan for some extra time to get around a closure of the Ruby Beach access road from Highway 101 into Olympic National Park. All day Wednesday, the entrance to Ruby Beach will close while State Department of Transportation maintenance crews repair some guardrails. Now, 101 will remain open during the repair, but travelers will continue to see single-lane alternating traffic north and south of the Ruby Beach entrance. An Aberdeen man has been charged with homicide by abuse and 3 additional crimes in connection with the death of his 4-year-old son, whose remains were found buried on property where the father lived. 36-year-old Jacob Bevins was formally charged yesterday in Grays Harbor County Superior Court with homicide by abuse, first-degree assault of a child, failure to notify the coroner of human remains, and making a false statement to a public servant. The charges follow Bevins' arrest last week in connection with the death of his son Aiden. According to the charging document, prosecutors alleged Bevins caused the death of the child between March 24th and August 1st of 2024 under circumstances manifesting as an extreme indifference to human life. A pathologist found multiple fractures, including both recent and older healing injuries involving the shoulder blades and multiple ribs. The examination also identified burn marks on multiple bones of the head, ribs, and extremities. Bevins remains in custody as the case proceeds through Grays Harbor County Superior Court. Well, in the face of rising care costs and closing nursing homes, many people in Washington and across the country are moving abroad now to get the residential care they need in their final years of life. Isabel Charlet has more on that.
Writer Ana de la Cruz researched this trend after her own father departed Washington for care in Mexico. Nursing homes in the Seattle area can cost more than $125,000 a year compared to facilities in Chapala, Mexico. De la Cruz warns that with massive Medicaid cuts underway, the situation will only worsen for families struggling to pay for care.
Nursing homes are actually already closing in anticipation of all of these cuts or directly because of them, and particularly in high-need areas. So the supply is lessening as the demographics are increasing the demand and the need.
By 2060, people 65 and older will account for a quarter of the nation's population. De la Cruz says in the last 5 years, nearly 800 nursing homes shut their doors. She adds there are at least 60,000 people from the U.S. collecting Social Security and living in Mexico. De la Cruz explains, along with savings, some facilities in Mexico can provide a more loving and respectful environment than in the U.S. But she says there are still challenges surrounding language barriers, differences in legal protections, and limited access to advanced care hospitals. She says moving abroad for the end of life can be a great alternative for some people, but it's not for everyone.
It's not something that anyone should be forced into the position to make that kind of decision when they're vulnerable and in a position of crisis, because making decisions in that moment is never the best time.
De la Cruz's father died after a 45-minute ambulance ride to the nearest level 3 hospital in Guadalajara. She says small strokes and an internal infection went undetected, and she often wonders whether the outcome might have been different had he remained in the U.S. I'm Isabel Charlet.
Washington State troopers arrested 2 teenage boys Saturday evening at the top of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. About 9:30 p.m., the patrol made aware that 2 people had begun climbing the bridge. Passers-by spotted the climbers. Troopers said there are sensors on the bridge that picked them up as well. Officials closed the bridge for about an hour and a half while they went up after the climbers. A State Patrol spokesperson said that when troopers got to the top of the bridge, the boys that climbed up there were hiding. The arrests were made at the top of the bridge. The boys arrested were 16 and 17 years old. They're expected to face charges of criminal trespassing and obstruction of law enforcement. This is News Radio KONP.
Jumpstart your exterior home project. Give Tri-State a call. Are you thinking about a new roof, siding, or windows for your home? Tri-State installs GAF roofing products, James Hardy siding, and Pella window replacements. And right now, Tri-State's offering huge savings. Call today for your free estimate. 360-208-2222.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
This is Kevin Murphy with Radio Pacific. We've teamed up with Clallam County Emergency Management and the Port of Port Angeles to help keep you safe in the event of an emergency. With me is CERT First Responder Mac McDonald. Mac, I understand you're here to give a compliment.
That's right. Our residents deserve kudos for being so aware about the risks and dangers of earthquakes or tsunamis that may hit our area. You are learning what to do if the Cascadia subduction zone decided to uncork. You've learned where your tsunami escape route is. You know what to pack into your emergency to-go backpack, and you have one ready. You've done all this and so much more so that you'll be prepared in the event of a natural disaster. So congratulations to all of you for not being complacent.
Well, Mac, we are all working together to keep our residents safe. Search online CERT Clallam County for preparation resources.
Don't be scared, just be prepared.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun this afternoon with a chance for isolated rain showers. Daytime highs approaching 58, winds out of the west 10 to 20 miles per hour. Slight chance of rain tonight, lows dip down to about 45, partly cloudy. Daytime highs approaching 60 tomorrow, partly cloudy. Mainly sunny Thursday with highs around 64, 68 Friday. A peek at the extended shows, 75 Saturday, 80 Sunday, and 81 on Monday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, 55.
Good morning, this is Chris Lewis. Unprecedented amount of hype, intrigue, star power heading into Madison Square Garden for Game 3. Knicks hosting their first NBA Finals game since 1999 when they took on the Spurs, which they did in 1999. The Spurs were able to have the composure in crunch time.
Wemby pops out, receives the pass. 2 minutes to go in Game 3. Can the Spurs protect the 4-point lead? Wemby off the bounce. Pass, half a second to shoot. Castle hits the three-pointer right at the end of the shot clock for San Antonio.
That's the payback for the Jordan Clarkson one in the first half.
111 to 104. PJ said they'd have to make shots. There's a big one.
The Clutch Castle Connection on ESPN Radio. San Antonio Spurs beat the Knicks 115 to 111. It cuts the Knicks lead in the series to 2-1. The Spurs handed the Knicks their first loss in 46 days, snapping their 13-game winning streak. There was also drama in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark, much maligned over the last couple of weeks, perhaps a slump. She busted out of it with her own clutch shot.
4.3 seconds to go. Fever down by 1. Sophie inbounds to Caitlin. Catch and shoot 3. Good with 1.2 seconds left from the left wing. Caitlin Clark for the lead, 78-76. Caitlin in the clutch.
You called it. You said it.
On the Fever Radio Network, 78-76, the final. Fever beat the Mystics. And a noteworthy score in Major League Baseball, Yankees extra innings, their first extras win of the year. They beat the Guardians 7-5.
Here's the pitch. Swung on. That is blasted. Right field. It's towards the big wall. It is gone! Over the big wall. Grand slam. Sail away, Josh Naylor. He clears them all with one big swing, and the Mariners lead 5-1.
Josh Naylor hit a grand slam in a 5-run fifth inning, and the Seattle Mariners beat the Baltimore Orioles 6-3 last night. Meantime, Mariners shortstop and leadoff man J.P. Crawford has landed on the injured list for a second time this season. Crawford placed on the 10-day IL ahead of yesterday's series opener in Baltimore with a right hand contusion. Meantime, the Mariners down not just their primary shortstop in Crawford, but also their second option yesterday in Baltimore. Rookie standout Colt Emerson, who has been filling in at the position with Crawford nursing that hand injury, was scratched from the lineup due to back tightness about an hour before the first pitch. Mariners and Orioles at it again this afternoon, 2:30 airtime here on KONP, brought to you by Leith's Farm Supply and Equipment Sales.
Miss, your burger is served.
Thank you.
And if I may suggest a pairing, this is our finest Pepsi Zero Sugar. The sweetness of Pepsi perfectly balances the savory notes of your burger, while the citrus and carbonation elevates the taste for a truly stunning flavor profile. Bon appetit.
Now that is one perfect combination. If this is how the other half lives, I could get used to this. Burgers deserve Pepsi.
This is Ed from Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales. Our family has trucked hay to feed the hungry animals in Western Washington for 4 generations. In that time, we have built a growing legacy of serving the needs of our customers, and we've never stopped. In 2014, we ventured into the equipment world by becoming a dealer and service provider for Mahindra Tractors. Since then, we have partnered with quality brands such as Bad Boy, Aaron's Bravely, LS Tractor, Husqvarna, Snake River Trailers, and now Wacker Neuson Construction Equipment. We have a 3-bay shop where we not only service the brands we sell, but we also work on most major brands including Kubota, John Deere, and New Holland. We carry a wide variety of parts, filters, belts, and fluids. We have a fully stocked hydraulic shop and can build hoses for most machines while you wait. Chainsaw or weed eater needs some TLC, we work on small engines too. We even offer welding and fabrication services. We have been earning the Peninsula's trust for over 25 years with your animal's care. We look forward to earning your trust with your equipment's care too.
News Radio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The Dow continuing to fluctuate this hour. Tech stocks and the NASDAQ taking a hit among a sell-off in chip stocks. Shares of the ski resort operator Vail Resorts are under pressure. Company slashing its full-year outlook, citing, quote, historically challenging weather in the western U.S., like not enough snow. Workers at SoFi Stadium reaching a tentative agreement with management, averting the threat of a strike just days before hosting the U.S. team's first World Cup football match. The union represents about 2,000 food service workers, and as prices for many products rise, the cost of coffee will be falling thanks to factors including weather, more favorable to growing the crop. And one big seller says that's going to benefit you next year. J.M. Smucker, owner of Folgers, Cafe Bustelo, and the packaged side of Dunkin's coffee business, says it plans to cut the price of its coffees as financially strained customers seek a bang for their buck. Smucker's stock percolating with a gain today. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
Hi, this is John Gray at Angel's Furniture. It's our anniversary all month long. We've got 107 years under our belt, and I think that means we know a thing or two about how to celebrate. In addition to our 4 anniversary giveaway drawings you can enter, you'll see huge savings on Stanton sofas. The Savannah Graphite sofa is only $8.99. See steep discounts on our Lazy Boys too. The Parkhouse Barolo Collection swivel chair is only $4.99. Choose from 7 colors. These deals and so many more are happening right now at Angel's Furniture.
The premium compact powerhouse is here. The new MT225S from LS Tractor. 25 horsepower, 2-pedal hydrostatic transmission, and a highly featured operator platform. Now available with dealer-installed cab. All backed by the legendary LS Tractor warranty. Demo the new MT225S at your local dealer today.
Find the perfect LS Tractor for you at Leets Farm Supply in Squim. Locally owned and operated. Call Leets at 360-452-1400.
LS Tractor, simply more.
News Radio KONP, traffic and roads.
We head up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center, and that's where Steve's standing by with a look at the noontime traffic for us. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, we're doing pretty good traffic-wise. You know, if you are out and about in the Port Angeles or Swim area, fairly busy out there, but traffic is moving along pretty smoothly. Right now, a little busy through the downtown area with the Coho arriving, Lincoln Street and Front Street and First Street. Those intersections are a little bit busy right now, but it shouldn't last long, and you'll be back on your way. If you're on Highway 101 between Port Angeles and Squim, things looking good out there as well. State's been working, doing maintenance things out there, mowing lawns and cleaning ditches and signs and things, so that has caused a little bit of a slowdown. It's mobile, and it stretches all the way from Port Angeles out to about Diamond Point area, so just be aware of that when you come across the cruise. Take it easy, slow down, and give them some room to work. If you're headed beyond the Squim area, Hood Canal Bridge good to go with no scheduled marine openings, and State Ferry is also running on time today. West End traffic, we're looking good all the way out to the Forks area. A little bit of road work out there as well with the mowing and the other things that the state's doing, but overall should be a good trip for you. So everybody take care, be safe. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Thank you, Steve. Another update in about a half hour. Weather. Windy, mix of sun and clouds today, maybe a couple of scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm this afternoon too. Highs upper 50s to mid 60s. Cloudy this evening, clearing out overnight with lows in the mid 40s. Tomorrow, a much nicer day with just sunshine. Winds are going to die down and highs are going to be the low to mid 60s. Thursday, sunny and pleasant as well. Highs warm into the mid 60s to lower 70s. Right now, across the peninsula, it is 56 in Port Townsend, 54 out west at Forks. Squim's got 56, and here in Port Angeles now 55 degrees.
From ABC News Tech Trends, Apple saying hello to a new Siri and goodbye to a CEO.
We're introducing an entirely new version of Siri, unlocked by Apple Intelligence. We call it Siri AI.
VP of Engineering Mike Rockwell at the opening of the Worldwide Developers Conference. Apple promises the new version of Siri will be much more helpful, and Craig Federighi, Senior VP of Software Engineering, says it's built with privacy in mind.
At Apple, we believe privacy in AI is non-negotiable. Apple Intelligence uses on-device processing as well as private cloud compute, which ensures your data is not stored or accessible to Apple or anyone else.
And retiring CEO Tim Cook.
It's been the honor of a lifetime to help advance that mission with teams whose creativity, care, and conviction continue to make a lasting difference in people's lives.
With Tech Trends, Sherry Preston, ABC News.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Heart disease is still the leading cause of death here in the United States and around the world. But what if there was something you could do earlier in life to reduce the odds of becoming a statistic? Well, here in the United States, tens of millions of adults already take a statin to lower their cholesterol. But new guidance put out by the American College of Cardiology and the American Heart Association now emphasize that treating high cholesterol sooner could significantly reduce a person's lifetime risk of heart attack or stroke. How early are we talking? In your 30s, believe it or not. Of course, you need to talk to your doctor about whether statins are right for you, but you should know that the evidence is really starting to stack up that shows the earlier you get a jump on reducing lifelong exposure to plaque-causing lipids and lipoproteins, the better the odds are going to be for you. Make sure you get your cholesterol checked. That's the first step. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Hello, I'm Jerry Stewart, and this is One Moment in America. Do things always work out the first time? And if they don't, what are we to do? I'll tell you that story after this important message.
Hello, Jerry Stewart here with my Calitrin 5-week update. Before beginning my Calitrin adventure, I was regularly taking pain medicine, mostly for my arthritis. I was always watching for my next dose. And now, with the Calitrin, I wake up without the pain. So what about you? Are you tired of weight loss programs that don't work? Weary of pain relievers that don't relieve? Me too. Now, with Calitrin, I just follow the plan, and it is working. I feel my old self again, healing, energetic, and a much better attitude. How about joining my wife Kelly and me in our quest for a better health? Go now to toploss.com to get your own supply to start a better life. That's toploss.com or call 833-TOP-LOSS. Come join us. Better health is on its way.
Do things always work out the first time? Of course not. In fact, most great achievements grow out of hardship and failure. You might say it's that very hardship and failure that provides the strength to persist until one succeeds. A wise man once said, "Good timber does not grow with ease. The stronger the wind, the stronger the trees." Albert Einstein said, "In the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity." Helen Keller, who was blind and deaf from childhood, said, "The hilltop hour would not be half so wonderful if there were no dark valleys to pass through." Still not convinced? Tomorrow I'll give you some examples you won't believe. I'm Jerry Stewart, and that was One Moment in America.
Looking for the next place to call home? Come to our Lavender Meadows and Swim. Beautiful, affordable homes for active 55-plus adults. Our modern, low-maintenance homes give you more time to enjoy life. More than a home, you'll enjoy community, active lifestyle, value, and security. We're confident you'll appreciate the modern amenities too. Come to our Lavender Meadows and Swim, or online at lavendermeadowsmhc.com.
The word on the street is that used car inventories are down. This is Dale from Wilder Auto, and I'm happy to tell you that we have a great selection right now. We've got loads of trucks and SUVs with a great collection of makes and models. From Toyota, Honda, Ram, GM, Nissan, and Ford, we'd love a chance to earn your business. Add to our great selection the peace of mind that comes with the Wilder Advantage. Well, why would you go anywhere else? Stop by and see us today or 24/7 at wilderauto.com.
Graduation isn't the finish line, it's the starting gate. To the class of 2026, you've put in the late nights, the early mornings, and everything in between. Now the world is waiting, with open doors and a few plot twists. Go chase what excites you, learn from what doesn't, and don't forget to celebrate how far you've come. Your future, it's wide open. Congratulations, graduates.
Congratulations from Peninsula Bottling, Olympic Peninsula title, and Jim's Pharmacy.
It's that time again. Graduates become adults and they leave the nest. They leave the comfort of our caring arms and constant guidance. But this is the time that they show us their true strength and determination. They prove they're brighter and more independent than we ever imagined. Fogtown Coffee wants to take a moment to say congratulations to Adric McBride. We're proud of you and can't wait to see what's in store for your future. Congratulations to the entire class of 2026.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. California voters now have a clearer picture of this year's race for governor.
Republican Steve Hilton has secured a spot in California's governor race, setting up a November showdown with former Health and Human Services Secretary Javier Becerra. The results give California voters a clear choice heading into the general election after years of Democratic control in Sacramento. Hilton says his campaign is focused on affordability, public safety, and economic growth. Willie Nelson, the White House.
In Maine today, the primary will determine the nominees in the governor's race in a high-profile Senate contest targeting Susan Collins' seat. She's the Republican incumbent there. South Carolina spotlight race, a multi-candidate Republican primary for governor, where the fight to replace Henry McMaster could stretch into a runoff. And in Nevada, the primary features pivotal statewide contest led by a competitive race for governor. 3 more cases of the New World screwworm have been confirmed, including one outside the state of Texas now, something that could potentially devastate the U.S. cattle market. But Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins says they've been preparing and have taken a number of steps.
Expanding sterile fly production and dispersal capacity. You all are probably tracking that we launched that last year, but earlier this year opened both a dispersal facility, but also invested tens of millions of dollars in refitting the fly at the top of Mexico beginning last year, which those sterile flies will begin to come online this month. So very good timing.
Decades ago, the screwworm used to terrorize the cattle industry before it was nearly eradicated in the 1960s. On Wall Street, it's a mixed bag right now. The Dow is up by 77 points. More from townhall.com.
Did you really think Pure Talk was just going to sit back and watch America turn 250 years old without doing something awesome to celebrate? Of course not.
That's why they're raising $250,000 for America's Warrior Partnership by the end of July. America's Warrior Partnership is on the front line of preventing veteran suicide. They've had extraordinary success, and here's how you can help. When you switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk this month, you'll be invited to round up to support America's Warrior Partnership. No pressure, but if you do, Pure Talk will match your donation dollar for dollar. And to further celebrate 250 years of our extraordinary democratic republic, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. That's pound 250, say Mike Rowe. And happy birthday to us.
A New York City landmark, you might call it a working landmark, is in for a major facelift.
Renderings of a dramatically redesigned Penn Station have been released by Amtrak and developers of the estimated $8 billion project. The redesign shows a return to the hub's original classical style, a stone facade, rows of Roman-style columns. Inside, commuters are greeted by a sun-drenched grand concourse with soaring ceilings. There's bronze finishings and other ornamental details, like a large classic station clock. An interior wall near an entryway bears the seal of President Trump. Rich Thomason reporting.
Used home sales accelerated to their fastest pace since December last month. A sharp turnaround in demand for the housing market after a lackluster start to the spring home buying season this year, largely because of higher than desirable interest rates for would-be home buyers. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Wisconsin Republican Senator Ron Johnson has issued a report on the details of a probe into COVID policy during the Biden administration. He told the Salem Radio Network that parents were misled at the time about the safety of giving those COVID vaccines to their kids.
Can you imagine being a parent who listened to Peter Marks and Anthony Fauci and President Biden, say this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. The adverse events are rare and mild. And so you listen to all that, and then you had your child vaccinated because you didn't want that child to get COVID and then pass it on to their grandparent and kill their grandparent, because that's what they're being told.
Senator Johnson is chairman of the Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations, and he says the investigation found evidence that the vaccines had little health benefits to the recipients and blamed the previous administration for not warning the public about the adverse effects of the vaccines. You'll find more on these stories at townhall.com.
This is the News Radio KONP Noon Report.
Outdoors live from the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Tuesday, June 9th. Clallam County commissioners considering whether to support a statewide effort that could give counties more authority over state-managed transfer timberlands. Commissioner Randy Johnson, who serves on the Washington State Association of Counties Timber Counties Caucus, said the discussion centers on about 600,000 acres of state transfer lands statewide. Those lands were originally acquired by counties through tax foreclosures and then later transferred to state management. Johnson noted Clallam County holds more of these transfer land acreages than any other county in the state.
Each county has their state transfer lands. This county has 93,000 acres in that category, which is the largest of any individual county in the state. Second largest is Skagit County.
Johnson says counties across Washington often have different priorities for these lands, ranging from timber production and revenue generation to habitat conservation and carbon sequestration. He said local governments may be better positioned, though, to determine how those lands should be managed. Commissioner Marco Zayas expressed some interest in giving counties additional management options, but also raised questions about potential risks, liability, and long-term responsibilities that could come with the greater local control.
I favor this direction because I think that more management tools would be helpful. But also, there's a lot of potential risk and liability that I can imagine coming along with a change in structure somehow.
During the work session yesterday, commissioners also discussed the possibility of a county-wide revenue sharing model, sometimes referred to as a unitary trust, that could spread timber revenues more evenly among taxing districts if harvest restrictions, wildfires, or habitat protections affect specific areas of the county. Now, no formal action was taken, but commissioners indicated the discussion could eventually lead to legislative proposals through the Timber Counties Caucus. A group working to bring seaplane service to downtown Port Angeles, moving closer to making that vision a reality. The city of Port Angeles has issued a shoreline development permit for a proposed 150-foot floating dock and access ramp near City Pier. It would provide a place for float planes to tie up and allow passengers to come ashore. The project is being led by the Hollywood Beach Seaplane Association. That's a privately funded group headed by Port Angeles wharf owner Eric Marks. Marks says the project's now in its final state and federal permitting stages with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and the Washington Department of Natural Resources. Now, part of its environmental mitigation plan, the group is proposing to remove the deteriorating historic causeway on the north side of the wharf, including hundreds of old wooden pilings and sections of decking to offset impacts from construction of the new dock. Port Angeles Harbor was officially designated as an FAA seaplane base, Whiskey 66, in 2019. That opened the door for expanded seaplane access to the city. Public response to the proposal has been largely favorable. City officials say most of the 18 comments received during the public review period supported the project, citing potential economic benefits and improved transportation access to and from the Olympic Peninsula. Opponents raised some concerns, though, about aircraft noise and possible impacts on marine life in the harbor. More news after this.
Hey everybody, Todd here at Price Ford. And backed by popular demand, Ford has come out with the employee pricing for everyone. And I'm not talking about what I would pay as an employee. I'm talking about what the corporate employees pay. You can't buy a new Ford for less money. This offer covers almost every vehicle in the Ford lineup. So if you're in the market for a new Ford, hurry down to Price Ford right on Highway 101, right next to Walmart in Port Angeles, and we'll have a vehicle waiting for you.
Coming up this afternoon on the Todd Ortloff Show, artistic director and conductor of the Port Angeles Symphony, Jonathan Pasternak, will preview the upcoming season, and we'll talk with the executive director of the North Olympic History Center, David Brownell.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy, Farmers Insurance.
Got an old wood stove or fireplace insert you'd like to remove? Orca offers financial incentives to get rid of those smoky old burners. Receive $500 just to recycle an old wood stove, and get up to $2,200 if you convert to an electric heat pump, ducted or ductless, and $1,000 if you replace that old wood burner with a pellet stove or electric fireplace. Visit orcaa.org for more details.
In other news, folks driving along the coast of the peninsula should be aware that tomorrow you should plan for some extra time to get around a closure of the Ruby Beach Access Road from Highway 101 into Olympic National Park. All day Wednesday, the entrance to Ruby Beach will close while State Department of Transportation maintenance crews repair some guardrails. Now, 101 will remain open during the repair, but travelers will continue to see single-lane alternating traffic north and south of the Ruby Beach entrance. An Aberdeen man has been charged with homicide by abuse and 3 additional crimes in connection with the death of his 4-year-old son, whose remains were found buried on property where the father lived. 36-year-old Jacob Bevins was formally charged yesterday in Grays Harbor County Superior Court with homicide by abuse, first-degree assault of a child, failure to notify the coroner of human remains, and making a false statement to a public servant. The charges follow Bevins' arrest last week in connection with the death of his son Aiden. According to the charging document, prosecutors alleged Bevins caused the death of the child between March 24th and August 1st of 2024, under circumstances manifesting as an extreme indifference to human life. A pathologist found multiple fractures, including both recent and older healing injuries involving the shoulder blades and multiple ribs. The examination also identified burn marks on multiple bones of the head, ribs, and extremities. Bevins remains in custody as the case proceeds through Grays Harbor County Superior Court. Well, in the face of rising care costs and closing nursing homes, many people in Washington and across the country are moving abroad now to get the residential care they need in their final years of life. Isabel Charlet has more on that.
Writer Ana de la Cruz researched this trend after her own father departed Washington for care in Mexico. Nursing homes in the Seattle area can cost more than $125,000 a year compared to facilities in Chapala, Mexico. De la Cruz warns that with massive Medicaid cuts underway, the situation will only worsen for families struggling to pay for care.
Nursing homes are actually already closing in anticipation of all of these cuts or directly because of them, and particularly in high need areas. So the supply is lessening as the demographics are increasing the demand and the need.
By 2060, people 65 and older will account for a quarter of the nation's population. De la Cruz says in the last 5 years, nearly 800 nursing homes shut their doors. She adds there are at least 60,000 people from the U.S. collecting Social Security and living in Mexico. De la Cruz explains, along with savings, some facilities in Mexico can provide a more loving and respectful environment than in the U.S. But she says there are still challenges surrounding language barriers, differences in legal protections, and limited access to advanced care hospitals. She says moving abroad for the end of life can be a great alternative for some people, but it's not for everyone.
It's not something that anyone should be forced into the position to make that kind of decision when they're vulnerable and in a position of crisis, because making decisions in that moment is never the best time.
De la Cruz's father died after a 45-minute ambulance ride to the nearest level 3 hospital in Guadalajara. She says small strokes and an internal infection went undetected, and she often wonders whether the outcome might have been different had he remained in the U.S. I'm Isabel Charlet.
Washington State troopers arrested 2 teenage boys Saturday evening at the top of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. About 9:30 p.m., the patrol made aware that 2 people had begun climbing the bridge. Passers-by spotted the climbers. Troopers said there are sensors on the bridge that picked them up as well. Officials closed the bridge for about an hour and a half while they went up after the climbers. A State Patrol spokesperson said that when troopers got to the top of the bridge, the boys that climbed up there were hiding. The arrests were made at the top of the bridge. The boys arrested were 16 and 17 years old. They're expected to face charges of criminal trespassing and obstruction of law enforcement. This is News Radio KONP.
These days, we are constantly told to be afraid of each other,
of our neighbors, our co-workers, and even our family members.
That's exactly what the rich and powerful want.
I don't want to live in a world which rich and powerful tell us what to do. So let's do things different.
Say hi to your bus driver.
Shake hands with a neighbor.
Thanks to a cannery worker.
Say hey to a stranger.
Blue Collar, we have each other's backs. BlueCollarUnity.org.
Paid for by Firelands Workers Building Community Power.
Do you have questions about the real estate market but not sure where to start? Call me at Century 21 Real Estate Center in Port Angeles. This is Joyce Gladen. We're here to help you make sense of your options. No pressure, no obligation. Find us at our new office location at 1205 East Front Street in Port Angeles. Yep, even realtors move. Same team, new location. We're Century 21 Real Estate Center.
At Harper Ridgeview and Squim Valley Funeral Chapels, we're proud of this community, and we're especially proud of our graduates this time of year. To the entire class of 2026, this is your time to shine. Set sail and enjoy the journey. We salute you and your accomplishments and wish you the best of luck along the way. Be leaders, never followers, and never lose sight of the horizon. You'll end up exactly where you're supposed to be. Congratulations, graduates.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun this afternoon with a chance for isolated rain showers. Daytime highs approaching 58, winds out of the west 10 to 20 miles per hour. Slight chance of rain. Tonight, lows dip down to about 45, partly cloudy. Daytime highs approaching 60 tomorrow, partly cloudy. Mainly sunny Thursday with highs around 64, 68 Friday. A peek at the extended shows, 75 Saturday, 80 Sunday, and 81 on Monday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, 55.
Meet Dennis. He and his wife call Lavender Meadows and Squim home.
They have a lot of modular home communities here, but Lavender Meadows stands way above the others. It's beautiful. There's a lot to do here. We have a beautiful clubhouse. We have bocce ball courts. We have a pickleball court. We have so many friends. It's like one big family here now.
Come tour Lavender Meadows in Sequim or go to lavendermeadowsmhc.com.
Bathfitter is celebrating over 42,000 installations in Western Washington. That's 42,000 bathrooms made safer and more stylish. And for a limited time, we're giving you up to $1,000 off your dream bath. Custom-fit tub and shower solutions are installed in as little as 1 day, with complete removal of your old setup. Every installation is backed by a lifetime warranty for total peace of mind. Visit bathfitternw.com to schedule a free consultation.
Your community-minded friends at First Fed bring you the Community Corner, highlighting good things happening right here in our area.
First Fed is proud of their 100-year tradition of giving back to the Clallam and Jefferson County community. The First Fed Foundation supports local nonprofits, tribes, and government agencies that help build a brighter future for low to moderate income families, along with organizations providing a wide array of critical, life-enhancing support to our area. The foundation supports organizations like the North Olympic Healthcare Network as they expand mobile health clinic services to include school-based, on-site preventative, dental, and vision services, and the OMC Foundation to provide more support for low-income patients undergoing cancer treatment. From community development projects to organizations addressing homelessness and access to affordable housing, the First Fed Foundation is proud and privileged to contribute to a brighter future for our community.
News Radio KONP Business.
This is Bloomberg Money Minute. The Dow has been fluctuating, but tech stocks have been under some pressure much of the day, especially chip stocks, as investors continue to move away from the AI trade. Worries about Iran also haunting Wall Street today, even as crude oil futures spend much of the session lower on peace deal hopes. Veterinarians may find themselves extra busy with the New World screwworm everyone is talking about back in the U.S. with cases mostly involving calves, but also now a dog. And as Wall Street watches the impact on the pet industry, pet owners being told they should prioritize wound care and make sure any potential sites of infection are treated and covered, according to Sally Donata, clinical associate professor at the University of Florida's College of Veterinary Medicine. And workers at SoFi Stadium have reached a tentative agreement with management, averting the threat of a strike days before hosting the U.S. team's first World Cup football match. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
Let's get a last check of the noontime traffic next.
Your birth experience should feel like yours. Come meet the midwives who can make that happen. Meet Our Midwives is a free monthly open house at Olympic Medical Center, where you can get to know our certified nurse midwives, tour our birth center, and start planning the birth that feels right for you. Join us the first Tuesday of every month at 5:30 p.m. in the Olympic Memorial Hospital Sunroom. Learn more at olympic.org/meetourmidwives.
If you hear this when you look outside, but hear this when you look around your house, it's time for new window treatments. Lucky for you, The Blind Store by McCrory has you and your windows covered. The Blind Store turns dingy into dynamite, stale into stunning, all at an affordable price and with expert installation. So if your shutters make you shudder, shop The Blind Store by McCrory in Sequim, 360-504-3883.
News Radio KONP. Traffic and roads.
Back up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center, and that's where Steve's standing by watching the roads for us. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, we're doing pretty good traffic-wise. You know, if you are out and about in the Port Angeles or Sequim area, fairly busy out there, but traffic is moving along pretty smoothly. Right now, a little busy through the downtown area with the Coho arriving Lincoln Street and Front Street and First Street. Those intersections are a little bit busy right now. But it shouldn't last long, and you'll be back on your way. If you're on Highway 101 between Port Angeles and Sequim, things looking good out there as well. State's been working, doing maintenance things out there, mowing lawns and cleaning ditches and signs and things. So that has caused a little bit of a slowdown. It's mobile, and it stretches all the way from Port Angeles out to about Diamond Point area. So just be aware of that when you come across the cruise. Take it easy, slow down, and give them some room to work. If you're headed beyond the Sequim area, Hood Canal Bridge good to go with no scheduled marine openings, and State Ferry is also running on time today. West End traffic, we're looking good all the way out to the Forks area. A little bit of road work out there as well with the mowing and the other things that the state's doing, but overall should be a good trip for you. So everybody take care, be safe. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Thank you, Steve. Your forecast, rest of the day today, going to be a little windy at times, a couple of showers and some sun breaks, too. Highs upper 50s to mid 60s. Cloudy this evening, giving way to clear skies overnight, lows in the mid 40s. Tomorrow, a bit nice here, mostly sunny, highs in the low to mid 60s. Thursday, even better, sunny and pleasant with highs getting into the low 70s. Right now across the peninsula, it's 56 in Port Townsend, 54 out west at Forks, 56 in Sequim, and 57 now out at Fairchild Airport here in Port Angeles. Well, marriage is supposed to last forever, which makes the subject of a prenup unavoidably awkward for couples preparing to head down the aisle. The prenup may not be romantic, but it's certainly practical if you've been struggling with broaching this subject with your special someone. Researchers from North Carolina State University suggest not even mentioning the actual document. Use a metaphor instead. Researchers turned to Reddit discussions on prenups to discover what metaphors were best, such as likening the document to a car's airbag or calling it insurance instead of a prenup. All right. America's most common apple, also maybe its most potent. Don't skimp on the skin, though. A new study out of Canada measured the levels of antioxidants in 8 varieties of apples and found that Red Delicious contained the highest concentrations of the health-enhancing chemicals. And to get the most bang for your bite, be sure to eat the peel. The skin of Red Delicious apples contains over 6 times more antioxidant activity than the meat of the apple does. So the meat of technology next. It's Kim Commando's Consumer Tech Minute. Remember her full show Saturday mornings 9 to noon here on KONP.
Here's an online scam built for anyone desperately chasing their first big break in show business. For them, it's absolutely irresistible. I'm Kim Commando for ExpressVPN. Companies track every move you make online. Keep your activity private and secure. And right now, get 4 extra months at expressvpn.com/Kim. Variety, the Bible of showbiz, calls this a highly coordinated fraud, so slick that almost no one sees it's coming until it's too late. Scammers pose as big-name Hollywood and Broadway casting directors. They advertise on social media, dangling a shot at a major role in front of, wait for it, just the right person. There's one catch. You have to be a member of SAG-AFTRA, the actors union. So they steer you to a fake website that mirrors the real SAG-AFTRA. You pay the fee, sometimes hundreds of dollars. Scam complete, no job, no union card. Just another broken dream on the road to stardom. So remember, SAG-AFTRA lives at sagaftra.org, not .com. Get my free newsletter at getkim.com. Imagine printing out your entire internet browsing history, every place that you've been, every search that you made, and then signing your name to it, and then hanging it right on your front door for everyone to see. Sounds crazy, right? But let me tell you something. Unless you're using a VPN, your internet provider can see a lot more about your online activities than you even think about. Every site you visit, every search you run, and purchases you consider. Even in private browsing mode, your internet provider can track what you do online. That's why I want you to check out ExpressVPN. It's super easy to use, and I never go online without it. I tap just one button on my phone, laptop, desktop, or tablet, and then my connection is fully protected. And with ExpressVPN, one subscription now covers up to 14 different devices at once. Take your online privacy seriously with ExpressVPN. Right now, my listeners get a smoking deal. Get 4 extra months at expressvpn.com/Kim. That's expressvpn.com/Kim.
I'm John Tesh, and coming up, I'll explain why most of us really do get wiser and cognitively stronger as we get older. It's next in today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand.
Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today.
An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Hey, next time you struggle to remember something, don't blame it on getting older. Blame it on all the extra clutter in your brain. This is according to new research now in the journal Trends in Cognitive Science. which aim to explain why the older we get, the more we struggle to recall information. What researchers found is that as we age, our brains hang on to a lot of information that's no longer relevant, like old phone numbers or the lyrics to old songs. When it comes to remembering something important, your brain has to weed through lots of extra memory baggage to find what's relevant. To reduce your brain's clutter, researchers recommend getting more exercise and sleep especially, because exercise boosts blood flow to the brain regions associated with memory, and then sleep, that's when your brain does its best repair work, sweeping out old cells and memories, cleaning out the clutter. I'm John Tesh with today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
Coming up this afternoon on the Todd Ortloff Show, artistic director and conductor of the Port Angeles Symphony, Jonathan Pasternak, will preview the upcoming season, and we'll talk with the executive director of the North Olympic History Center, David Brownell.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy, Farmers Insurance.
Peninsula Bottling would like to congratulate the class of 2026. We wish you the best on your new path. Whether you stay right here at home or your plans take you somewhere new, know that we're proud of what you've done so far and what you're sure to pursue. And if you veer off course, remember that life is constantly throwing us curveballs. It will happen, and you'll be better and stronger because of it. Congratulations again from your friends at Peninsula Bottling.
Your voice, your news. News Radio KONP, Port Angeles Squim, AM 1450, FM 101.7 and 101.3, a Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Wayne Cabot. The U.S. is weighing a response after determining that an Iranian drone downed a U.S. Army Apache helicopter this morning with 2 crew aboard on patrol off Oman near the Strait of Hormuz. The crew was rescued, but President Trump says that the U.S. must, out of necessity, respond. Iran's top diplomat says the best way for foreign forces near the strait to reduce their risk is for them to leave. ABC's Louis Martinez on what took down the Apache chopper.
Maybe potentially what was happening here is that there was a nighttime collision, because if this is one of the types of drones that is used in attacking commercial ships, that is not a drone that fires weapons, but a drone that is an impact drone, a one-way attack drone. So potentially what we're talking about here is some kind of a collision, and this gets to the whole intent. Was Iran strategic? Were they intentionally targeting this helicopter, or was it just a situation of a bad location at the wrong time?
The verdict is now in for a young man who claims he acted in self-defense when he fatally stabbed 17-year-old Austin Metcalf during a high school track meet in Texas. ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer on the conviction just now of Carmelo Anthony.
So this is a verdict that came for under 3 hours. What that tells me, in a case that self-defense is made the primary defense, if not the only defense, by the defense counsel here, is that the jury adamantly threw that out. They said that there was no issue here as to whether or not Carmelo Anthony subjectively, meaning his own perception, or objectively, those in the 12 in the jury who made a decision, that he believed his life was in danger, that he needed to use deadly force.
He faces up to life in prison. Immigration update. The House clears a procedural hurdle for a $70 billion immigration bill. After a brief revolt from hardliners, Speaker Mike Johnson didn't have a lot of wiggle room, with Republican Tom Kean Jr. of New Jersey still out with a health issue. You're listening to ABC News.
Hot, warmer weather is finally here, and that means cookouts,
ball games,
and maybe enjoying some time on the water.
But it also means lots of heavy food, sweets, and maybe an extra adult beverage or two. Thank goodness we both take Active Liver from New Nordic. Did you know your liver works around the clock, processing food, sugar, alcohol, and everyday toxins? All the things that can really impact your health.
That's why daily support matters. Active Liver is designed to protect normal liver function and support your body's natural detox process.
With trusted natural ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and artichoke extract, it's gentle enough to take all year long.
No harsh cleanses, no extreme detoxes, just simple daily liver support. We really feel the difference.
Active Liver helps us enjoy the good things in life with peace of mind that our liver isn't working overtime. Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com, and you can find it in stores at CVS, Meijer Grocery, Wegmans, and now Active Liver is available at your local GNC.
People are demonstrating in Kenya near a military base where the United States is planning on building an Ebola quarantine center. It's where the U.S. intends to send the Americans who were exposed to Ebola while abroad. Instead of sending them back to the United States, a Kenyan court is trying to stop this. White House border czar Tom Homan says that immigration agents are going to surge next into New York City, but complains the state has blocked federal agents from conducting operations.
We got Rikers Island in New York City. I had an agreement with Mayor Adams to get back into Rikers Island. Now, if you truly believe we have a right to arrest and deport criminals that are in the country legally, then why am I locked out of Rikers Island? Why do they keep releasing them to the street?
Of course, there is a new mayor now. Anthropic has a new AI model that is powerful, but not too much so. ABC's Mike Dubusky.
Anthropic is releasing a new model called Fable 5 that it says has the same level of capability as Mythos. That was the AI technology Anthropic previewed earlier this year without releasing it to the general public due to concerns bad actors could use it to exploit vulnerabilities in major businesses or governments. The company says Fable 5 gets around this by handing off certain prompts and queries to a less powerful model.
Louisiana State Police pulled over a driver for erratic driving. He ran from them, jumped off the elevated portion of I-310 into a swamp with alligators, got bitten, and is now booked for DUI. Wayne Cabot, ABC.
Hello everyone, this is Caitlin from Airport Garden Center. Did you hear about our latest soil sale? Buy 3 and get the 4th free on Gardner and Bloom Organic, Standard Planting Mix, and Harvest Supreme. Mix and match to make the perfect blend for your raised beds and large planters. Come check out our aquatic plants and pond fish and wander our greenhouses filled with beautiful hanging baskets. Now I will turn you over to Jamie to tell you all about our next event.
Thanks, Caitlin. On Saturday, June 13th, we will be hosting the Rose Show with Tamara Allen, and there will be bouquets on display between 11 and 4 p.m. with a fragrance workshop between 12 and 1. Customers are encouraged to bring their own bouquets to display to compare the rose fragrance profiles to their sweet and spicy elements. We hope to see you there.
Sign up at airportgarden.biz or give us a call at 360-457-8462.
Airport Garden Center, planting knowledge and growing gardeners since 1977.
KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. 457-6600. A proposal to bring seaplane service to downtown Port Angeles is moving forward. The city has issued a shoreline development permit for a new floating dock near City Pier. That would allow float planes to tie up and bring passengers ashore. Supporters say the project could boost tourism and transportation options here. Opponents raising some concerns about noise and impacts to marine life. State Patrol says 2 teenage boys were arrested after they climbed to the top of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge Saturday night. They had to shut the bridge down. Teens are expected to face trespassing and obstruction charges.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon with a chance for isolated rain showers. High temperatures reach up to 58. Winds out the west, 15 to 20 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies again tonight. Slight chance for rain. Lows level off around 46. Daytime highs approaching 60 tomorrow. Mainly clear skies. Daytime highs approaching 63 Thursday under mainly sunny skies. 68 Friday. Taking a look at the extended forecast. 75 Saturday, 80 Sunday, and 81 on Monday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 57 degrees.
It's the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
All right, welcome to the program. Got lots to cover today. In our first segment, we're going to be chatting with Jonathan Pasternak. He is back, of course, the symphony conductor and the artistic director for the Port Angeles Symphony as well. And I warned you we'd do this. We're going to get him in today to give a preview. We had him in a couple of weeks ago at the last concert of the season, but said, no, you're going to come back and we're going to preview next year because it's already time to talk about maybe getting tickets and that sort of thing. And I know that the publication is soon to be out, and so this is a little bit of a maybe a little tease as to some things people will start seeing in mailboxes and their favorite spot.
Indeed.
They might collect these things, right?
Yes,
so,
exactly.
Jonathan, great to see you again. Thanks
great
for coming in.
Great to see you, Todd, as always.
And so you got, I'm privy to the season lineup. You sent it over to me today. Got you've got kind of some neat stuff lined up this coming season.
Some exciting stuff.
Right. Okay,
yes,
so
indeed.
Let's just jump into it.
Yeah.
You're off for a couple of months, but you get right back into it in September, and of course that's always the ever popular family concert.
That's right.
Which is usually a little bit different and kind of hence its name, family concert.
Yes.
This year you've got. Well, you're really going to make it family because you're going to make it musical family, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be bringing in some of the high school kids this year.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. So it's something that we started a little while back, and from time to time bringing in chorus from Port Angeles High School and sometimes from Sequim High School, and sometimes we get to combine the two. We did that this last year, but this time it's actually an all-American program. So all of the composers on the program, we are at the 250th anniversary
Makes
of
sense,
course,
right? Yeah. Okay.
And we're gonna combine the choruses. Port Angeles High School and Swim High School, and that's John Lorenzen, who does amazing work at Port Angeles, and Florian Barros, who does also amazing work at Sequim High School. They have really taken their programs to a high level.
You have a lot of kids on that stage.
A lot of kids on that stage. Well, they'll be in front. They'll be in front of the stage.
Right.
Yeah.
I should point that out.
Yeah.
That's how it usually says. But you'll have a lot of singers, though, involved in that concert, which will be great.
It'll be great. I love that. I love that. Yes.
So you've got some things like a little theme from Jurassic Park is going to show up and stuff. So give us just a little tease of what this concert's going to feature.
Yeah, absolutely. So especially for that opening family concert and also for the holiday concert, like to put something that I think, something for everybody. And actually I like to do that on every concert. And I like to think that our programming does appeal to the general public, and you don't need to know anything about classical music to come and have a great experience at our concerts. So this first one, we're going to have, she's just amazing. I'm using that word a lot, but she is trumpet virtuosa. Let's see, virtuosa.
Yeah.
Mary Elizabeth Bowden. She is incredible, an incredible virtuosa of the trumpet. And she's going to bring this brand new trumpet concerto that she commissioned. And we're going to do the West Coast premiere.
How about that?
Yeah, and yes, I mean, don't be scared though. It's very tonal, but it's a serious piece, and it features trumpet like you haven't heard it before.
All right,
and she's also going to do a Gershwin tune on the second half, "Someone to Watch Over Me."
Oh, okay,
which is very, very nice, and a little Jurassic Park, and like I said, all American composers. Linda Dowdell, our own Linda, from Carlsberg, and she is our principal keyboardist in the orchestra, and also she has arranged some things for us, and she's doing an arrangement for the orchestra and for those combined choruses to perform.
Oh, great.
And I think it'll be very special. It's a smash up of two songs. It's from South Pacific, "You've Got to Be Carefully Taught," and from "Into the Woods," "Children Will Listen."
Oh,
and
wow.
to do those things together. That has been done before. I think Barbra Streisand did that with Mandy Patinkin. Anyway, they go beautifully together. It should be very, very moving. And we're also doing "Let There Be Peace on Earth," and it should be a very, very special concert.
All right, that's September 26th,
Yes,
so
indeed.
people can start marking that on their calendar.
Yes.
It is very popular. It's be happening up at the
Yes.
Port Angeles High School there in the Performing Arts Center.
Yeah.
So that's how you get her all kicked off, and then you go right into your first chamber music concert after that.
Yeah, if you don't mind, we'll go chronologically.
Yeah,
so
okay.
in the middle of October, we're going to do what I love to do and what we do every year. We bring back people who grew up in the area, from the area, and this is Christopher Tabor. And do you know Christopher?
I know, yes, in passing somewhat, not like a great friend, but yeah.
Well, yeah, grew up here.
Yep.
And went off and became an amazing, wonderful violinist. And he got a job with the Victoria Symphony just across the water. and made a life in Victoria. Now he has a flourishing violin studio and plays in the various groups there, and is a soloist.
Yeah.
So he's going to come
So you're
back.
just going to hop on the ferry, come
He
on over and play
sure
with you,
is.
right? Yeah.
He sure is. And you know, when he gets to the border and they ask, "Will you be working here?" he can say yes because he has
I'm
an
not
American
just visiting
passport.
anybody. Yeah, right.
Exactly. He's going to do some all-time favorites, 2 of the 4 seasons of Vivaldi.
Okay.
We'll do it. And this is great. It's going to be an all Baroque music program. In the 2 churches. And Jory Noble, our fantastic concertmaster, is going to join Christopher, and they're going to play Johann Sebastian Bach's double concerto for 2 violins.
That'll be fun.
Yes,
Yeah,
very much
right.
so.
And we should point out, we'll have Jonathan back to talk ahead of all of these concerts again, so you don't need to remember all of this.
Yeah,
stuff.
you don't.
This is just really a tease of what's coming up. So.
And I do believe the brochures are in the mail this week.
So if you're on the mailing list, you're going to get one of these things soon.
Absolutely. And if you're not, please give us a call at 360-457-5579. We'll get you on the mailing list or send an email to us.
Because I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint. You can save like 35% if you become a member.
Yes.
Yes,
indeed.
Get this thing and get signed up and get the season's worth at a big discount.
That's right. You get a season pass, and it's really good discount off the regular ticket price.
All right, you're going to send Christopher back across the border.
That's right.
For your next concert in November, the full symphony is back.
The full symphony is back. Yes, and you have the program, right?
I do. Yeah, this is on November 7th. You've got some Shostakovich. You've got
So Charlie Albright, who you might have heard a couple of times, I think, in recent years at Field. Well, Field has only been open for a couple of years anyway. So they've brought Charlie to play piano, and he is a monster talent. And he's an improviser, and he's also a great raconteur, and he's a great classical pianist. And interestingly enough, he made one of his orchestral debuts. I think he was 10. And it was here in Port Angeles. So this is the first time.
Small world stuff. Okay.
It's the first time he'll be coming back to the Port Angeles Symphony as soloist since making his debut at the age of, I think it's 10. And he'll be playing Shostakovich's Second Piano Concerto, the second movement of which is just such an exquisite, beautiful piece. It's really something you don't want to miss. And we're doing Stravinsky's Petrushka, which is just another tour de force for the orchestra, which is so much fun to play. Very difficult, but very exciting piece.
So I have to ask you this, though, because you have marked on here 1947 version.
Yes.
Tell us why.
Yes, indeed. Well, you want the cynical answer or the no? It's not cynical at all.
I'll take any answer from you.
It's
They're always
not
good.
cynical at all. So we just a little background here. Whenever a composer writes something for an orchestra, you don't know if it's going to be performed again. It might get, and there are a lot of pieces like that. It gets its premiere, maybe it gets great reviews, but it might not be taken up. Stravinsky already had a big name for himself, and he was writing these great ballet scores back in the beginning of the 20th century. So he wrote The Firebird, which was a great success, and he wrote Petrushka for ballet. In 1911, it was premiered. And it calls for, back in the day in Paris, in the ballet and in the opera, they had enormous orchestras. So it was written for what we call quadruple winds, meaning there were 4 flute parts and 4 oboes and 4 clarinets, 4 bassoons, just enormous. And it makes for a great sound. You could just imagine, right? But practically speaking,
not a real easy thing to pull off.
Exactly. They did, but if you want to have other orchestras perform that music, it behooves you to make just a little smaller version for that. And eventually that's what he did in 1947. I mentioned cynicism in that some people said that Stravinsky did some changes just so he could renew his copyright. on compositions.
Well, it is a business.
Well,
right?
It is a business. Absolutely, it's a business. But and so if he was able to do that, kudos to Stravinsky for that, and the Stravinsky estate or whoever
had it after that.
residuals
Yeah,
now.
right.
But it really was, I think, a practical decision on his part in order to get it performed.
I was going to say, otherwise this thing's never probably going to get performed again,
Right,
unless you had
because-
somebody who was really ambitious.
Yeah, for professional orchestras, it's very expensive. Our orchestras don't have so many people on their payroll normally.
And it's just as good.
It is just as good.
Yeah,
it's the same music. Although he did, very interestingly, Todd being a great musician, I'll tell him that he changed some things of how he notated the music, especially some of the more intricate rhythms.
Interesting.
And I'm not sure whether the new version is actually easier to execute or to read, I should say, than the old
version. So
yeah,
sometimes
turns
having
out.
4 parts might have been easier to get through on some of these.
Yeah, just the way he noted it is very interesting. Yeah.
All right. So that's the November concert. Let's move ahead. Now this one, well, we're here personally because our very good friend Amanda Bacon's involved with your holiday concert, which is December 12th this year. Tell us about that, because you have, I'll just say, you got a little of something from everywhere.
We do.
This one.
We do, and Amanda Bacon and I have been talking for years.
Yep.
We have to get this to happen. And finally, we have the date. And so she's going to sing some of her favorite holiday songs. And there's a piece that I did when I was assistant conductor with the Oregon Symphony years ago, and it's The Snowman, Howard Blake's The Snowman. And I think that's well known in this country, too. The cartoon and Little Boy and the snowman with the colorful
snowman with the scarf, and all
scarf
of
and everything.
Yep.
And they fly. And there's the song about flying. So anyway, there's really this lovely, it's about 15-minute, I think, with cuts, it gets down to be 15 minutes, narration, and this great story about the snowman. And Amanda will do the narration and also sing that lovely song.
I love it.
Yeah, so that's
so
great.
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So
and some other holiday favorites and fun things.
And it's always a hugely popular song. This is one that you pack the place almost every year.
We
so
really do.
Mark that down. So December 12th is when you're getting good all holiday with the symphony this year.
Yes.
So coming up.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then hard to say, but let's talk about 2027 because you're going to. Yeah. So.
And we're in June, aren't we, Todd? What's happening?
I don't know.
It's Tuesday already, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, so you got the second chamber concert coming up after the first of the year.
Yeah. So if you've been paying attention over the last years, we've been featuring our string section for the chamber groups, and practical reasons. Part of that because it's smaller space, but we're going to mix it up now, and we're going to have ensembles mostly comprising wind instruments. And I'm really excited about this program. Some of my favorite music and composers. So Stravinsky again, his Octet for Winds, which is actually one of the very first pieces I ever conducted.
Oh wow!
Ever.
Good for you.
1988 in January. Oh my, yeah. I was just
you were 3
an
or
infant.
so.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly,
right.
exactly. Yeah, I conducted it with the rattle, and those changing time signatures. I really got those down, and so that is really cool. And actually, there's a little anecdote about that, and I'll say it very fast. Apparently, Stravinsky had a dream, and in this dream was the instrumentation for this Octet for Winds.
Really?
And it's flute, clarinet, 2 bassoons, 2 trumpets, 2 trombones. And then he woke up and he wrote this great piece.
Which is kind of really a strange conglomeration of
instruments.
instruments.
It is a strange conglomeration,
Right.
but what a cool piece. Yeah. It's jazzy. It's great. And then Janacek, Leos Janacek, one of my all-time favorite composers, and an interesting piece from his later years, and it's so cool. It's Capriccio for piano solo. It was actually commissioned for a left-hand soloist because the gentleman had lost his right arm in World War I.
Interesting.
And it's not the only one of those stories. But anyway, it was written for him and for another interesting and strange combination of wind instruments And then we're doing the Dvorak Serenade in D minor for winds, and there's also a cello and a bass part. That is just an amazing piece, and I like having the Dvorak and Janacek talking to each other on the same program.
All right.
Yeah.
And those will be in the churches again.
Yes,
as,
exactly.
You always do on the chamber
Yeah.
concerts. Then back February 20th, the symphony full on again. Tell us a bit about that one. That one's got Vaughan Williams.
Oh, yeah. Well, before we get there, something that doesn't appear on our brochure, but I need to say, is on January 31st, which is a Sunday, we are again going to partner with the ballet.
Oh.
Port Angeles City Ballet and the Ballet School for their gala. And they call it their Symphony Gala. Please don't get it confused. We have to have our gala too. That'll be in April. But yeah, so we're going to do something, and we're going to do it for the first time. Well, this is the second time we're doing it. First time we did it at the high school. Yeah. This time we're going to do it at Field Hall. And I'm still not sure where we're going to be playing.
Yeah, I was going to say, because they're going to need the stage for their ballet, for the dance.
Yeah, you got to kind of need some space for dancing.
You might all sit in rows in the chair.
We might have to do that. Yeah, we'll see. Right now, the plan, I believe, is to have a smallish ensemble in the back of the stage.
Oh. Okay.
But the one problem is that the conductor likes to have visual connection with the dancers. You have to make sure that, when they're flying up, that, don't come down until they come down, that kind of fun thing. So anyway, that's the 31st. Yet, you're right, in February, we have another person who grew up here, and that's Kirsten Sienna Porter.
Mm-hmm.
And we know her as Sienna. And she played violin in the symphony for her last couple of years in high school. She was right up there in front in the second violins next to Kristen Smith. And she is a very talented soprano. And after high school, she moved to Denmark. And she actually has a Danish passport, thanks to her mom. And she's been going to conservatory for classical voice. And I always thought that her voice would be perfect for two pieces, and I programmed both of those pieces. We're going to do, first of all, Ralph Vaughan Williams, A Pastoral Symphony, which is just such a gorgeous piece, one of my favorites. And there's a wordless soprano voice that opens and closes the last movement. So beautiful. And then on the second half, another small piece, Gustav Mahler's Symphony No. 4, which of all of his symphonies is perhaps the most intimate sounding one, I guess. And in the last movement, he calls for a soprano. And so she's the perfect voice for this. And I love the pairing. It's like a tale of two symphonies.
It would be good to see her back in town anyway.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so that's coming up. That's in February next year. March, you've got March 27th, where you've got another big show.
Another big show.
A lot of big stuff here. I'm looking at the lineup.
And someone else with the surname Porter, but no relation. And Simone Porter is making a big name for herself as a violin soloist internationally. But wouldn't you know it, she did one of her orchestral debuts early on with the Port Angeles Symphony.
What's up with this place?
I know. So I think she was 12, and now she's coming back, and we're going to do, and I was thinking, okay, what to ask her to do, and luckily we have the internet and Instagram and all that, and she had some post where she was talking about her favorite violin concerto being the Beethoven violin concerto. So I invited her to do it, and she's
here it
coming.
comes.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. And we're doing Sibelius Symphony 2, and just a favorite composer of mine, and not so known, this Third Symphony.
Yeah.
And a piece by Jennifer Higdon called Blue Cathedral, which is very, very cool. An American composer again. And Jennifer has written, it's really a cool piece, very listenable, lots of interesting effects going on in the orchestra. Yes, yes. And you have to show up to see what I mean.
All right, here's your gala coming up, the Cuisine and Concert Gala in April 10th.
Yes.
And tickets are going to go on sale for that coming up in December.
That's right.
Because you need tickets to get into this thing. This is kind of a little different type of a show.
It's a different type of show, exactly. And so this will be the third time we do our concert and cuisine program reimagined. It'll be at Field Hall, and we use the entire building. So we have a concert, a mini concert to start, and that's going to feature two of our new but favorite soloists, Francisca Peach, violinist, and Gregorio Nieto, cellist. They're going to come together. We're going to do Brahms' Double Concerto, which is just wonderful, and my favorite composer. So there you go. I'm so happy I get to program these concerts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say as an aside, this is one of your favorite parts of the job. I know you love to conduct, but I know you really love programming.
Yeah, I do. I do. Yes. And so we do that, and then we head over to the Sunset Lounge and have a nice meal there. We'll have an auction. That's our biggest fundraiser of the year. But I mean, to hear those two, and you could get tickets for just the concert, and you don't have to come eat with us. But hey, I mean,
you make it the full deal.
You
I mean,
you could do that. Yeah.
It all goes to a good cause, as they say.
I like to think so. Yeah, I like to think so. And to have those two back, and both of them are they're such fiery performers, and people have asked me, what is it going to be like when they come together? Well, it's going to be combustion.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch.
I think so.
Absolutely. Okay, Symphony May 1st. You're back with a regular symphony concert.
Yes,
I put that in quotes, regular. Right? Tell us a bit about that. It's the last of the big shows for the year.
Last of the big shows, and maybe last of something else, which we could talk about. Julian Schwartz, another audience favorite, is coming back, and he's going to play the Schumann cello concerto, and I was going to say violoncello concerto, and then I thought nobody knows violoncello. It's cello,
right?
But the word is violoncello.
If you want to be,
whatever.
You don't want to be arrogant about it.
Yeah. Sometimes it looks nice in print, but to say it is kind of a little bit. Anyway, and this is for Julian. I think this is just a perfect piece for him because he's such a romantic and energetic player. So that'll be there, and let's see. What else did I put on that program?
You got Prokofiev Symphony Number 5.
Oh my, yes, that's right. Thank you.
Yeah.
See, Todd has my.
I have the cheat sheets over here. I have to tell you that Jonathan's doing this without notes, and I have to say you did a really good job considering.
Well, thank you. But I'm a little flustered now. I can't. Yes, of course, Prokofiev's grand Symphony Number 5 to close the season, and what a blockbuster symphony that is.
All right. Then you have one last chamber concert, which will be May 21st and 22nd.
Yes. And you know what? We're also going to repeat it in Seattle.
Are you? Because I'm looking at the lineup here. It makes sense. Okay, tell us.
This is I'm so excited about this. It is the North American premiere of a brand new requiem for chorus, for soprano soloist, and for small orchestra. So it's strings and keyboard and percussion by a Swedish composer that nobody knows, but I know him. And I heard the premiere of this live streamed, actually.
Okay.
And I was sitting there with my coffee thinking, all right, let's see what Joachim did. And my jaw was on the floor because it is truly a masterpiece. So we're going to be in conjunction with the Northwest Edvard Grieg Society, and we're producing it with them. And their executive director happens to be a lovely soprano singer, Laura Loga. So she's going to be doing the solos, and we're going to do this Friday in PA like we do for chamber, Saturday in Sequim, and Sunday we're going to perform in Laurelhurst neighborhood in Seattle.
Makes sense. You got to get it over to where these guys came over from, right?
Well, exactly. A lot of Scandinavians. We want them to come out. Yeah.
How fun is that, though?
Yeah.
You got a lot of premieres and things happening this year.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of firsts and such. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, love to do that.
Yeah. So
yes.
Now you kind of hinted at what is to come. This is going to be maybe the last year, at least for a short time, that you're going to have access to performing where you perform.
That's right.
So things may be changing after this year, just because of footprint, if nothing else.
Yeah, exactly, Todd. And I'm sure you've done a number of shows where you've spoken about this, about all the exciting stuff that's happening to the 3 schools in this district, thanks to the bond that funded this. And the high school will go under renovations. And our home is the Performing Arts Center, PA Performing Arts Center at PA High School.
Right.
And it's going to have to close for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have talked, and so you're probably going to be at Field Hall for most of your bigger concerts.
Yes,
it
yeah,
sounds like.
we definitely will be. There really is no other venue to speak of where we could do that.
But we've said this in the past. That's a good news, bad news thing. Good news, you got a place to land. The bad news is it's smaller, quite frankly, and not just as in audience size, but also space for your performers.
Yeah, that's true. Field Hall has so many wonderful qualities, as we know. But we found that at the high school, it's ideal not only for the size of groups that we put on there, including choruses. We're able to have well over 100 people on stage or near the stage performing. But 2 other things. First of all, we spoke about before the show, you need acoustic space for some of this larger repertoire. You don't want to blow the roof off because especially it's an expensive roof there.
Yeah, that's true.
And also we have 1,153, give or take, seats at the Performing Arts Center up at the high school. Whereas at Field, we have 502. We're limited in audience space. And we have been averaging, this is so fantastic for us, we've been averaging well over 1,000 people on our Saturdays. So that's the morning rehearsal and the evening concert combined. We're really around 1,150, just really the capacity of the high school. So some people might be have to, be on the wait list for tickets or something like that. And I hate that idea, I have to tell you. And we're able in such a large venue as the high school we're able to give tickets away. We're able to give free tickets to under 18 with a ticketed adult. We give to lots of nonprofits in the area for their auctions and other things, and to other groups, and of course to our musicians who volunteer.
Plus ones that need to come watch
exactly.
them.
They volunteer to play, and at least that's one of the perks has been
you get a ticket
or
2.
Giving those tickets.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to figure out how to handle all those things. But the good news is, 2 good news, as you said, we will have a landing place at Field Hall, and we're grateful for it. And then after that, the high school will be renovated, and we will be back playing there, and
in
we
a
will
new
be able
space,
to,
basically.
new space, and we'll be able to open the doors to all the people who want to come.
All right. Well, it's always fun. Love having you come down, Jonathan.
I love
always.
it too.
And
Thanks.
Enjoy a month or so off, because we'll get you right back here before you know it. We'll be talking about the family concert a little bit more, just about that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Jonathan, great. You got a great lineup.
Thank
People
you.
should be looking for this and become a member, because you can get a
Yeah.
discount and you'll get all of the previews on all of these great
Season
shows.
pass. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Jonathan Pasternak, he is the conductor and the artistic director for the Port Angeles Symphony Orchestra. And we're going to take a break and be back with more in just a moment.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
Hi, it's Dan Shappy with Farmers Insurance. Ever call somewhere and get stuck in a phone maze so long you start questioning your life choices?
Press 1 to speak to a robot. Press 2 to be routed to the number 4 button. Press 3 to be disconnected inexplicably.
Yeah, we don't do that. We're right here in Port Angeles at 405 South Peabody Street. You need help? Just stop in. We'll look up, smile, and actually talk with you. Farmers Insurance, here when you need us.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Hello, Clallam County. This is Danny with Harper Ridgeview and Squim Valley Funeral Chapels. I recently had the opportunity to assist a very elderly but very energetic woman here in our county. She had in her possession her husband's remains, who had passed years prior. She sent us a letter asking if we could help her pre-need funeral and cemetery services for herself and her deceased husband. She'd been stressing and worrying for far too long, wondering what would happen when she passed. It was such a joy to help her finalize her plans. It was so easy, too. She expressed to me over and over such feelings of peace and relief now that all that was taken care of. So let us help you today to achieve that same peace of mind by planning ahead, even if it is a simple plan. We're here to serve you. Harper Ridgeview and Squim Valley Funeral Chapels, because your loved ones deserve the best.
It's time for your monthly Market Minute with critical insights from local real estate pro May Graves.
Hi, May Graves here, realtor, broker, and orchestrator. What does that mean? Think of it like conducting a symphony, only instead of musicians, I work with painters, cleaners, movers, stagers, landscapers, and contractors. Selling a home involves more than just listing it online. It's about preparing it thoughtfully, coordinating each detail, and keeping the process on track so nothing falls out of tune. My passion is to make sure every part of your experience, from preparing your home to close of sale, comes together smoothly and in harmony. If you're curious about the process, call me, May Graves, Real Estate Market Pros, hyper-local, data-driven results, 360-461-1922.
Hey everybody, Todd here at Price Ford. And backed by popular demand, Ford has come out with the employee pricing for everyone. And I'm not talking about what I would pay as an employee. I'm talking about what the corporate employees pay. You can't buy a new Ford for less money. This offer covers almost every vehicle in the Ford lineup. So if you're in the market for a new Ford, hurry down to Price Ford right on Highway 101, right next to Walmart in Port Angeles, and we'll have a vehicle waiting for you.
In a city of gaslight and secrets, justice has a new face. Port Angeles Community Players presents Miss Holmes by Christopher M. Walsh. When a newlywed receives a chilling anonymous warning about her husband, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Dorothy Watson are drawn into a case of murder, power, and carefully buried truths. Holmes, brilliant, relentless, impossible to fool. Watson, driven, capable, and determined to be heard. Together they navigate a London of shadow and invention, where danger hides behind respectability and progress hums just beneath the surface. Inspired by the works of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Miss Holmes is a bold, thrilling reimagining of the classic detective story, where brilliance refuses to stay silent. Running May 29th through June 14th. Get your tickets now at pacommunityplayers.org. The game is afoot, and this time it's hers.
The Olympic Game Farm would like to say hats off to the class of 2026. You have your entire future ahead of you. These next few years will fly by. In the blink of an eye, you'll have careers and maybe a family. You might end up exactly where you dreamed, but some of you will be doing something you never expected. No matter where this journey takes you, remember to be true to yourself. Life is hard, but it will be beautiful. Congratulations, graduates!
All right, welcome back to the show. Time for our monthly chat with David Brownell. He is the executive director of the North Olympic History Center. Comes in to talk about all sorts of things going on with the center and a lot of outreach things that happen in our community. And it is kind of an extra busy time because we've got the America 250 things happening, which is kind of being run through his organization a little bit as well. So, David, always great to have you. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
And you just kind of want to launch into a whole bunch of things on a schedule that you have that people may want to partake in.
Yeah, big things happening. We were at the Maritime Festival this past weekend and had a great time there. So our next big thing, actually, as soon as I leave this interview, I'm going down to Field Hall to start installing our North Olympic Voices exhibit. So that'll be opening up. I'm sure most people are pretty aware by now, but they're going to have the big Field Day event on Saturday down there, June 13th. So encouraging folks, if you're down there, please go into the Laura Cooksey Gallery inside Field Hall and you'll be able to see this exhibit. You know, we've talked a little bit before. It's sort of a mix of artifacts, archival materials that we have in the collections from the History Center. And then Field Hall has actually gone out and gotten pieces from contemporary artists, sort of just tells stories about this place and sort of what it's like to live here, experience life on the Olympic Peninsula. As an example, we're putting in one large painting, and then there are actually a series of greeting cards that were reproductions of original paintings by an artist named James Miller. And James Miller has this fascinating story. He grew up here in Port Angeles. He would have been a member of the graduating class of Port Angeles High School in 1968. He never graduated. Reading between the lines, he had pretty severe developmental difficulties, which, at that time weren't necessarily diagnosed. He had a really tough situation at home, went through, I think, some different foster families, kind of got shuffled through the system. And so by the time he was in high school, we have accounts from friends, acquaintances who ended up, later on in life really helping take care of him. By the time he was in high school, as an example, the gym teacher would assign students to make sure that he showered and was dressed and had his shoes tied appropriately. So he never graduated high school. A lot of people remember him around Port Angeles, either walking up and down the railroad tracks. He had this fascination with trains, or he spent a lot of time in the library, in the public library. Very nice, friendly guy. So at some point during his story, he ended up in Tacoma, homeless. And a woman went out, so sometime in winter, it was freezing cold. She found him basically sleeping on the doorstep outside, brought him in, took him in the back room, gave him a blanket to warm him up, I think put him by a stove, in the back room of her business. And she came back in, and I don't know if he was drawing or painting, but she realizes this guy's, a savant, and he's got this amazing ability. And so a group of people basically found ways to support his artwork and use his artwork to help support him. So his artwork ended up paying for his care in a long-term care facility down by Tacoma. He passed maybe 15 or 20 years ago, but he won some substantial art recognition awards. There's pieces of his art in the Seattle Art Museum. There's one of his paintings, Pay As You Go, is in Jimmy Carter's presidential library as sort of an epitome of folk art during that time period. And so, just the whole story of, his background and then sort of community coming together to sort of highlight his abilities and use those to support him later in his life. I think it's just a really, really, really cool story. And so it's things like that we're highlighting that, I think there's just things that will really interest people. And his artwork itself is fascinating. It's kind of hard to describe. It's loaded with iconography. The painting that we'll have up, Pay As You Go, it's this amazing painting. There's lots of elements of local history. The Rainier 4 locomotive is on there. There's a bunch of train stuff, a bunch of logging stuff. But then what we found when we took it out of the frame to photograph it for our online collections is on the back of, it's painted on a type of thick art paper. On the back of it is an entire another painting that he sketched out that's got like conquistadors and Spanish galleons and like and he only painted like maybe 10% of it, but he was making the most of the materials that he had at hand. So yeah, just really cool stuff like that.
Fascinating.
We'll have a military drum from the early 1800s and just lots of random little bits of curiosity.
So that's going to take up the whole gallery downstairs then,
Yep,
right?
Laura
Okay.
Cooksey Gallery at Field Hall. That exhibit will run through August 8th. So if you can't make it this weekend, you've got some time to get down there. Then our next big event, so we've got that coming up this weekend. Then the following weekend, we have our first history hike coming up to Port Williams and Marlin Nelson County Park. And some of the local property owners have been kind enough to give us permission to access their property as well to the south. So, it'll be about, I'd say, a 1.5 mile loop, pretty flat ground. It's a cobble beach. So there's some of those issues, but it's relatively easy ground to travel. So if folks are interested in learning more about that, get on our website, look at our events calendar. We'll have another history hike coming up to the Katai Prairie and Lagoon in Port Townsend on July 18th. But then on July 4th, we will be over at the Independence Day celebrations at Carrie Blake Park in Sequim, and we're going to have our block print activity, make your own block print activity. And we've got a bunch of really cool blocks that are sort of July 4th themed, you know, firecracker explosions, those sort of things. And then we'll also have out a flip book. We've been finding so many cool pictures of 4th of July celebrations going all the way back to like late 1800s in the Merchants Hotel down here with, I mean, just the whole thing. They built this huge arch that went over the whole roadway, and it was covered in red, white, and blue paper. And their symbol, because, you know, Port Angeles was the gate city. So they put like a picket fence gate, and then it just says city underneath.
Gate City.
So I'll have flip books out with some cool pictures of things like that. Then July 18th, I mentioned the history hike. Then on August 8th is Museum Day, and we're going to do a really big open house at the History Center. So please put that on your calendars. We're going to have some cool outside activities. We're going to have a thing we're calling Megafauna Mania, which is basically we're doing life-size painted cutouts of some of the megafauna that used to live here on the Olympic Peninsula, you know, along with information about where they've been found, what we know about them. We'll have our very own mastodon ulna that we have in our collection out on display. We'll have some other fun activities, and then we'll also be doing just free tours of the History Center so folks can get in there and see some of the amazing collections that I'm always talking about.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to what we originally kicked this thing off on about the important, you know, history is always, it's interesting. We can always do the facts, and this happened on this date and whatever as well. But what I really like are when you can find the stories of the people that lived here.
Yeah.
And that story about the artist and the community rallying it is interesting because that's a lot thematic to how people describe Port Angeles nowadays.
Right. Yeah.
In the fact that that's just that community just like rallies behind people and things when something needs to get done.
Yeah, when things are tough, the community kind of comes together to fix it, you know?
So that, I mean, that's in the fabric of the historic fabric of the whole area, really.
And that's when you look at the history of Port Angeles, but in broader sense, Clallam County, we're very remote. I know we've talked about we're a remote rural county, so self-sufficiency is sort of ingrained into the culture of the communities out here. And what's cool is you can get a sense once you've lived out here long enough and you spend time traveling around, you know, you get out to the West and you get a feel for there's different subsets of those cultures, but that ingrained self-sufficiency and community support, it's there whether you're in Sequim or Forks or Clallam Bay or CQ.
Yeah, absolutely. So you busy stuff.
Yeah.
And I know that this has been somewhat purposeful over the last number of years to get the Historical Society out.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially get your group out into the community.
Yeah.
That's really what it's about. You know, you can run your exhibits and museums all you want, but really you want folks to have opportunities to literally touch what you're doing.
I mean, the history that we're preserving belongs to this community. Right. And so at the end of the day, you know, we've got a 5-page strategic plan and all this stuff, but what it really all boils down to, the nuts and bolts of what we're trying to do is connect people to the collections that are their cultural heritage, the cultural heritage of this community. And whether that's through exhibits, presentations, doing this, whatever it is, that's what's cool, is because however we relate to people, that's when those stories start to come out. So we constantly get to hear new stories that then tip us into something else interesting. And so we talk about it. We're not sure if we have short attention spans or we're just fascinated in everything, but, you know, we're just constantly chasing one thing after another and then just sharing that information with people.
I like it. I like it. The whole America 250 thing. I mean, this is just a giant elephant to try to eat, I know, in some ways.
Yeah.
But and you guys have been doing things throughout the last year, really, to reach out.
Yeah, and I would say our role as the History Center has primarily been just sort of coordinating, you know, different groups and doing, you know, monthly Zoom meetings. But again, I think that is in a microcosm, an example of what we just talked about, where, you know, I'm the only paid staff at the History Center. I couldn't ever take on America 250 of the county as a whole. You know what I mean? And I don't think that there's many organizations in this county, on this peninsula, that could necessarily do that on their own. And so what we've done is sort of community-wide between all of these different organizations, whether it's DAR or Field Hall or, you know, City of Sequim, municipalities, things like that. we've all taken on little bits and pieces of it that are comfortable within our realm, and sort of just working broadly as a community to commemorate. Yeah.
All right. I just to tease, it's a loaded question in some ways. You've got this giant exhibit that's opening up at Field Hall. What do you got planned for maybe later? What's your next big thing going to be after all of this?
Oh, I have to be completely honest with you, Todd. My goal at this point, so we have our next exhibit is going to be the Moving the Mail exhibit at the Port Angeles Library, opening on August 28th. Okay. And so I think I've sort of got to get that off of my plate before I start thinking about
what's
next. Yeah. When I'm playing whack-a-mole, I've got to swing at the mole I can see.
And you're the only one whacking moles right now. I get it.
I have a lot of volunteer help mole whackers. I appreciate their assistance, but we got a lot of moles to whack.
There's just so much that goes on. That's why I love having you come on once a month and just talk about the things you've laid out, because
fun.
it's a very rich area for history, natural history, military history, logging history. I mean, we've got all sorts of things as well. So, okay, so. Got lots to go see.
Yep.
Get out and do it.
Yep.
And
check out our events page, northolympichistory.org, and you can find out everything we're doing.
Right. I'm looking forward to this opening at Field Hall. I think that's going to be a neat exhibit for
And Field Day sounds like it's going to be a blast. I mean, they're shutting down Oak Street, and there's going to be all sorts of cool stuff going on.
History in the making right there. Too. David, always great to talk to you. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for
having me. We'll do it again in a couple of weeks, all right?
Cool.
All right, that's David Brownell. He is the Executive Director of the North Olympic History Center, and lots going on. Get out and check out some of those exhibits, and check out their website as well. It's really got a lot of good stuff on there digitally, and you can kind of relive history right there from your couch if you want. We're going to take a break. We'll wrap things up right after this.
Have you ever clicked get a quote online and suddenly your phone acts like it owes someone money? 20 calls a day, numbers you've never seen, and not one of them local? I'm Dan Shappy with Farmers Insurance. If you're tired of mystery callers trying to sell you insurance, try something different. Talk directly to a real local agent who actually lives here. No robocalls, no strangers. We are real people helping real people right here at home.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Looking for the next place to call home? Come tour Lavender Meadows in Sequim. Beautiful, affordable homes for active 55-plus adults. Our modern, low-maintenance homes give you more time to enjoy life. More than a home, you'll enjoy community, active lifestyle, value, and security. We're confident you'll appreciate the modern amenities too. Come tour Lavender Meadows in Sequim or online at lavendermeadowsmhc.com.
Home affordability. Yes, it does exist here on the peninsula with Mountain View Homes. Looking for a quality craftsmanship home at 40% less than stick-built? Call Mountain View Homes. We specialize in affordable homes with full-service land packages, dirt to turnkey, quality, beautiful, and an efficient manufactured home on the site of your choice. Mountain View Homes has 3 locations to serve you, including Carlsberg. Visit mtviewhomes.com. That's mtviewhomes.com.
Do you know when your septic system was last inspected? Clallam County Environmental Health keeps those records and can tell you. Pumping your septic and complete septic inspections by licensed professionals are 2 very different things. State law requires inspections every 1 to 3 years, depending on the system you have. Get more information about your septic system and inspection requirements by calling Clallam County Environmental Health 360-417-2258 or by logging on to clallam.net/septic.
Peninsula Bottling would like to congratulate the class of 2026. We wish you the best on your new path. Whether you stay right here at home or your plans take you somewhere new, know that we're proud of what you've done so far and what you're sure to pursue. And if you veer off course, remember that life is constantly throwing us curveballs. It will happen, and you'll be better and stronger because of it. Congratulations again from your friends at Peninsula Bottling.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
End-of-life decisions are hard. Be it pre-planning or sudden loss, you need to have an advocate in your corner, which is why I wholeheartedly recommend Drennan and Ford Funeral Home and Crematory in Port Angeles, the only locally owned funeral home and crematory in Clallam County. Their expertise ensures a smooth process so you can focus on healing and being with your loved ones. Their help through the darkest time in my life will forever stay with me. Call 360-457-1210.
Hi, I'm John Holm, president of Tri-State Roofing, serving the Puget Sound since 2007. Tri-State Roofing is committed to making every step of the process stress-free. You'll have a dedicated production manager helping you with every aspect, start to finish. Right now, we're offering 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 6 months. Call Tri-State today, and we'll be out tomorrow.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
Here to provide a little insight on the local real estate market is May Graves.
Thank you, Todd. There's certainly a lot going on in the real estate market, and some of it might surprise you. Home prices have been rising nationwide for more than a decade. This is called a seller's market, but currently the market is cooling off. What does that mean? It means less panic buying, less home sales falling apart. It means more time and room for negotiating. It means less liability for sellers when buyers aren't rushed. It means real estate services like home staging become essential. It means top quality professional photos and cinematic video are not optional, they are a must. Market conditions are shaped by multiple factors. Let's see what the spring market has in store. If you want more information, call me, May Graves, Real Estate Market Pros, 360-461-1922.
Hi, I'm Dr. Colin Wolslegel, a gastroenterologist at Olympic Medical Center. We're seeing incredible advances in how we treat digestive issues using therapeutic endoscopy, often avoiding the need for traditional surgery. Join me for a free presentation on Thursday, June 18th at 5:30 p.m. in Seasons Cafe at Olympic Memorial Hospital. We'll cover everything from routine screenings to these new therapeutic approaches. Get all the details at olympicmedical.org/healthmatters.
We are paying 14% of our income in taxes, while the super rich are paying 4%. That's backwards.
That's why we came together to win a millionaire's tax this year.
That means more money for schooling kids. It means parents pay less for diapers.
Small business gets a tax break.
It means the super rich have to pay their share.
Blue collar, we have each other's backs. BlueCollarUnity.org.
Paid for by Firelands Workers Building Community Power.
The North Peninsula's news, the North Peninsula's talk. News Radio KONP, Port Angeles Squim, a Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Lindsay Davis, anchor of Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. President Trump is blaming Iran for this morning's downing of an Apache Army helicopter near the Strait of Hormuz. More from ABC's Karen Travers at the White House.
The president posted on social media that the 2 pilots involved were safe and uninjured, but he now says that the United States, quote, must of necessity respond to this attack. He does not get specific in his social media post, and the White House hasn't responded to our questions about this, about what he might do now against Iran because of this takedown of the helicopter.
A Texas jury deliberated 3 hours before finding teenager Carmelo Anthony guilty of murder. Jurors didn't buy his claim of self-defense in the stabbing of Austin Metcalf at a high school track meet last year. ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer.
It's clear that the prosecution's
closing argument getting the last word, saying that swift justice needed to be met and that this was not self-defense. The idea of bringing a knife to a fist fight, the proportionality of the self-defense is too high. If someone attacks you with their fist, you're supposed to respond with your fist. If someone attacks you with deadly force, like a knife or a gun, you can do that, but you can't escalate it. And so what this verdict tells me is that the jury did not buy the self-defense claim. They thought that Carmelo Anthony escalated this too high and that he's guilty of murder.
They're voting today in primaries in 4 states. Control of the Senate could fall on Maine voters as they decide if they can overlook recent allegations about frontrunner Graham Plattner. The first 4 people on the next moon mission just got their orders.
We are returning to the moon, a grand adventure back to the lunar surface to build a moon base and to do so for all of its scientific, its economic potential, and to master the skills for where we will inevitably go next.
The announcement from NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman. The Artemis 3 crew includes 3 Americans and 1 Italian astronaut. They will dock with a moon module for an eventual boots down on the lunar surface. You're listening to ABC News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-970-3355. That's 800-970-3355. 800-970-3355.
I'm Lindsay Davis. For the latest on today's headlines, be sure to watch Prime tonight starting at 7 Eastern on ABC News Live. Now, more news.
Jeffrey Epstein's executive assistant for 18 years ignored reporters as she arrived today for a congressional hearing on what she knew. Leslie Groff was his assistant. Her name appears more than 150,000 times in the Epstein files. She testified that she wasn't aware that he was abusing underage girls, calling her boss a master manipulator.
Through her attorneys, Groff has denied any knowledge of or participation in Epstein's crimes. The House Oversight Committee also plans to interview Bill Gates later this week.
ABC's Peter Haralambos. An Air Canada pilot is accused of flying thousands of passengers on hundreds of flights without having the right license.
Officials say the investigation began after a random certification check revealed inconsistencies. The airline denies safety was ever compromised, saying all pilots at Air Canada undergo mandatory recurrent training every 6 months, but acknowledging the licensing process is essential. The airline saying it takes this matter with utmost seriousness.
ABC's Hannah Battah. It's going to be hot for the World Cup. Players in the upcoming FIFA Cup face a greater risk of unsafe temps than they did in '94, last time they were in the U.S. Researchers at the Imperial College London report human-induced climate change has made the condition significantly more likely in the 16 host cities in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada.
KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. 457-6600. A proposal to bring seaplane service to downtown Port Angeles is moving forward. The city has issued a shoreline development permit for a new floating dock near City Pier. That would allow float planes to tie up and bring passengers ashore. Supporters say the project could boost tourism and transportation options here. Opponents raising some concerns about noise and impacts to marine life. State Patrol says 2 teenage boys were arrested after they climbed to the top of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge Saturday night. They had to shut the bridge down. Teens are expected to face trespassing and obstruction charges.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon with a chance for isolated rain showers. High temperatures reach up to 58. Westerly winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies again tonight. Slight chance for rain. Lows dip down to about 46. Daytime highs approaching 60 tomorrow. Mainly clear skies. Daytime highs approaching 63 Thursday under mainly sunny skies. 68 Friday. Looking at the long range, 75 Saturday, 80 Sunday, and 81 on Monday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently 57.
Normal is broke and common sense is weird, so we're here to help you transform your life. From the Ramsey Network and the Fair Winds Credit Union Studio, this is The Ramsey Show. Thank you for joining us, America. Jade Warshaw, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Christy is in Philadelphia. Hi, Christy. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I was just calling to see if you could help me figure out how to live a life and not be burdened by so much financial issues.
Well, we can certainly try.
Okay.
What's going on?
So I'm single, so I make about $50,000 a year, and I just am always in the negative every month. And I can't really enjoy life. I just work and get back in the negative.
So usually when people experience that problem, there's one or two things or both at play. So either your income, that the money that you're bringing in is not enough, or there is something in your expenses that needs to lower, or a combination of both.
Or just sheer disorganization, which we have no idea where the money goes, and so it just leaves.
Exactly.
That's a good point. Do you have a budget?
I don't, and I have no idea what's coming and going.
Okay. So then that's Dave's point.
Yeah.
So what we're going to set you up with is Every Dollar. Every Dollar is going to be the tool that's going to give you organization. It's the best budget app that's out there. And so when you open up Every Dollar, it's going to ask you some questions about yourself. It's going to ask you about your goals. But once you get into the actual budget, you'll have a place where you can list your income, and you'll have a place where you can list all of your expenses. And the goal is to list out everything that you could possibly spend money on until you hit zero. That's called a zero-based budget. You want to spend every single dollar of the money that you're bringing in on purpose. Now, when I say spend the money, I mean that's everything from rent, groceries, if you have car payments, if you have debt. And then if there's margin, you also need to assign that money a task, whether it's paying off the smallest debt or, maybe you're behind on something. That's how that's going to work. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So John Maxwell said it this way. He said that a budget is people telling their money what to do instead of wondering where it went.
Okay.
So on paper, on purpose, in this case on app, on purpose, you lay out what you want your month to look like, and then you be a grown-up and live what you laid out. No whining. It's your plan. Okay. You can put whatever you want to on it.
Okay.
But you obviously won't plan to be in the red.
Right.
Okay. Now, do you have a bunch of debt?
I have about 10,000. So
okay.
it's
on what?
It's not a lot. Well, to be honest with you, 4,000 of it is